Right, I was going to just have a quick look at the centre bed because a few weeks ago we had a Cycas revoluta or sago palm starting to flush. So we'll see how far ahead we are now. It is starting to open up. We've got the nice warm weather, so we can see the difference straight away from the old leaves, which are over 2 years old, to the new leaves, which are still nice and soft. They do go quite sharp when they harden off fully, so this is still in the process of opening up. You can see they're sort of curled up at the ends there. I suppose similar to your tree ferns. Nice new flush, but with the cycads it's not guaranteed every year. And in fact last year, because it's maybe because it's a cool summer we had, we didn't get a flush at all. So like I say, we've had these old leaves for a couple of years, so it'd be nice to get this new flush and maybe cut some of these older ones off, because they are really quite dry and crispy now. So yeah, that's how that's doing. If you watched any of my videos last year, I had a lot of pink china actually in this centre bed. I thought I dug them all out, but obviously they do send out little shoots. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 that we've left behind, so I will dig them out because I don't really want them there. Yeah, we've got again just got some bedding plants in there. Hopefully they'll fill out in time. So this is a Livingstoner Chinensis. Not really a contender for growing outdoors. It survives. You can see that it's still alive. It's sort of pushing out a new leaf here, and we've even got a new little spear, but the winter sets it back. Whatever growth you get in the summer, that'll just look like this the next year. So by the time these two leaves have come out, that'll be towards the end of summer, and I'll cut these ones off, and then next year you'll end up with the same two shabby leaves. So I've got one in a pot, and they're really easy to grow over winter. In fact, I just stick them in the summer house and keep them dry, and they look pristine. They're out. They seem to acclimatise to the sun better than most palms. So yeah, not really worth trying to grow it outdoors all year round. It's one of them palms that's just so slow, unless you get really high temperatures, and we don't get that in the UK. So I may well at some point dig that out. Not now. I weren't really going to go through all the palms here, but I will just mention this. So we've got the Camerops cerifera here, the blue form Mediterranean fan palm, and it did try and flower. You can see that it's probably a male because it's a little tiny flower bud there. It's starting to get several offshoots now. So this has been in the ground for probably about 4 years, from really probably about the size of this offshoot here. So that's what you can expect in about 4 years. Quite nice and blue. Jubea Chalice, again, all these palms were put in this bed at the same time, so it's a good comparison of growth rates. And we've got Jubea Chalice, like I say, and only just starting to go pinnate. It's starting to push out two new spears there. So yeah, again, from a 1 or 2 leaf strap seedling to that, about 4 years. So that is the growth rate. On a side note, you might have noticed I've put one of my bird of paradise here. It's looking a bit sparse at the minute. I did have to cut some leaves off last year, so I'm hoping in a nice sunny position that'll throw out a bit of growth. But yeah, so this is not your standard bird of paradise, this is the gold version, and it has started to open up the flower now. So you may notice still got the blue tips, but it's the petals are gold rather than orange, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, so that's nice to see that open up. I may well have to prop this up because it's quite a heavy. I'm quite a gangly. See how long that stem is to the flower itself. So I may well, now it's starting to open, get a cane in there and just sort of tie it up so we can enjoy that a bit more, because that's really just sort of flopped over onto the Cannas and Dahlias here. So again, a quick look around the centre bed, and so these Cannas and Dahlias were left in the ground over winter, starting to grow quite nicely. The Cleopatra, so we've got, as usual, you tend to get one, don't get an even spread of nice variegation on the leaves. We've got one pure green leaf there, and we've got a couple of pretty much pure dark red, and everything in between. Quite a nice half and half leaf there. So yeah, some leaves look better than others, but we'll enjoy them all the same. So yeah, that's doing quite well. I suppose that's nearly pushing 2 foot. And then the dahlia, I've never had a dahlia in the ground flower so early for me, so bearing in mind we are only in June. What is it today? The 15th, so halfway through June. Normally expect that sort of maybe towards the end of June or sort of July time, but yeah, no, we've got some nice flowers there, so I'll take it. So back to the main centre bed. Like I say, with the exception of the Cannas Princess, because this is I only put this in last year from quite a small plant, and it's starting to fill out now. It's very small, a little bit slower maybe than Fortunae. But you can see that new spear there, pretty much white. Really quite a nice palm. It's probably my favourite Cannas, just for the fact that, you know, the leaves are stiff, so they don't look too scruffy there, and obviously the undersides are pretty much pure white. Don't know if that's picking up or not due to the light, but yeah, no, they're looking good. And this Brahea Edgeless needs some of the old fronds cutting off. So again, this has been in the ground 4 years from a strap leaf seedling, and it's starting to do okay now. So the fronds are getting a reasonable size, and it's pushing out 2 at once there. So that's I'll probably just tidy this up a bit. We've got 4 fronds at the bottom here, which could come off now. And then the last sort of comparison, if you like, with the palm growth is this Butea odorata. So again, probably 2-leaf strapling seedling, and so this is 4 years on. So obviously these are been through winters, but I do put I have been putting a shelter over the top of these just over the winter, but I don't think I'm going to bother this year, so we'll see. They are hardy here, but obviously when they're small they're not quite as hardy. So we have got leaves that have gone pinnate, and we've got, you know, fairly new leaves which are in the process. Obviously doesn't hurt at all to stick your finger in there and help it along if you want, if you feel like you want it to speed up a bit. But that's personal preference. I'll leave that as it is for now because quite like them like that. Anyway, so that's how the centre bed's doing. So I did mention we've been getting some warm temperatures this week, and I'm not saying this is accurate because I've got a thermometer here which I reset last night. So you should have a thermometer in the shade, obviously, to get the correct ambient air temperature. But this is basically at plant level. So this is recording, I guess, what the plants are feeling where they are. So even though, say, it's only maybe 22, 23 today, that's Celsius, you can see it's actually registered a high of 40 degrees. So I know, I'm not saying we've got tropical temperatures of 40 degrees. What I'm saying is this thermometer is where these plants are sitting, and if that's registering 40 degrees, then that's what the plants are feeling in the sun. So yeah, that's quite surprising really. So I reset it this morning when that was 12.2. Obviously currently 19.9, so nearly 20 degrees. We've had a high of 40 degrees. Again, that's in full sun, but just to give you an idea of what the plants are feeling rather than ambient temperature. So that's the update on the little palms, and let's just finish up with a look at the lilies. So for the last 2 months I've been fighting the old lily beetles. They stand out pretty easy because they're bright red. You see them quite readily on the green foliage. But yeah, so we're looking, we've got some flower buds coming. So these are the more sort of tree lilies, as it were. So I'd say these are probably pretty close to 4 foot. So when they come out, you get multiple flowers. They do look quite nice for a couple of weeks. So yeah, that's worth, if you've got some in the ground, to just keep an eye on them. Seems to be the end of the lily beetle season now, and we have got a bit of damage where you see some of the lower leaves as it's growing, the beetles had a bunch on them. But I think the main thing is to, as it comes on towards the flower heads, that's where you want to keep them off, because obviously they will totally devastate and eat the flowers as well. So we have got a combination of some smaller lilies in here, which are all starting to bud, and you may notice that one early, which is already starting to get a bit of colour. So yeah, just a little update for you. Oh, let's not forget the eucomas. So it's like the burgundy, quite a big growing variety, this one. I brought it late last year, so it had already flowered, so I'll be interested to see what the flowers look like on these. So that's again quite a dark leaf, but just gives you a nice hit of dark in the otherwise sort of fairly green bed. And then let's leave it on. So these are the Colocasia esculente, which have been in the ground over winter. I think I mentioned before, they do like to push themselves up, so by the end of winter, which is probably not a bad thing, because they don't, the deeper they are, the more chance you've got of rotting them off. So as long as it's not too cold, the shallower they are, they yeah, after a year or two they do push themselves up and tend to you see the bulb, as it were. Well, you can see it just about here. Let's see if I can get past this leaf. So there's the actual quorm. right there. So again, these have been in the ground 3 years, gone through every winter no problem, from one little tuber. And as you can see, there's quite a good splatter of new growth coming up. The first leaves did die off because we had a bit of a cool patch a month ago where it went a bit chilly for a little while, and I didn't really like that so much. But yeah, it's starting to come into growth now, so that'll be a good comparison, if you like, from Colocasia escalente, which has been left in the ground, compared to one which I started off earlier, and obviously bigger. So let's just have another quick look. So this is one in ground, so quite a small leaf, and one that I started off earlier, or I say earlier, started off a few months ago, and then got it in the greenhouse, and now it's just gone in the ground. So obviously we've got a much bigger leaf at the moment, but I'm willing to bet by the end of the season they'll both be roughly the same size. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough for now, so we'll leave it at that. Stay tuned for more updates. I know I haven't done a video for over a week, but I'm trying to make up for it now. I have been quite busy. Like I say, I spent the whole weekend just getting bedding plants in and whatnot. So again, nothing that you'll see, no instant impact, but give it a month or so and things should fill out quite nicely. Right, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.